Hi, this is a little walkthrough of my Shikari knives. There are two EDC style knives that I offer. One is the Askari and the other is the Shikari. The Askari is a little smaller in size and more easy to carry around. The Shikari, it's a little bit bigger with a much more comfortable handle. So it's basically been designed as a do everything kind of a knife. You can chop with it, you can carve with it, and yeah, you can slice and skin also with it. So let's just get into the dimensions of the knife. This is a Shikari. The Shikari has got about a 4-inch blade with a 4-inch handle, and the overall length is about 8.5 inches. Very comfortable handle on this one. You've got a little bit of a swell over here, so this also acts as a thumb rest, and I give a false edge in here. This is not sharpened, it's a false edge, so you can get the tip right into some nice corners in case you're carving or you want to cut a hole in something. The steel is 440C high carbon stainless steel, and this is plate quenched and cryogenically treated. The cryogenic treatment that I do greatly improves the toughness and the resilience of the edge, so it's got a very good edge life on this. And then because it's stainless steel, you don't have to worry about maintenance, and it's just basically zero maintenance. The handles are vintage teak with brass pins, and sometimes you get some really nice figure in the handles because they're all really old wood that has been salvaged from broken houses and the sort. So it's pretty good weathering done on the wood, so the wood doesn't really warp or change as much, and then you get some nice grain activity in some of the blocks. So every handle is unique, every handle is different. So to further talk about the design of these knives, I would say firstly, I wanted them to be very comfortable to hold and pretty much balanced right there, so that it doesn't feel like a heavy knife. I've also done some weight reduction within the handle itself where the slots cut out, so that the knife is not any heavier than it needs to be. There's a little thumb rest over here, which is good if you want to get really into, like, have a nice control in terms of if you're whittling or shaving wood for your tinder. And this is a good place to lock in your finger too, so it is a very natural holding position for the entire handle. I also put in a sharpening choil so that in case you need to resharpen the blade, usually the ricasso ends right up to the edge of the blade, and anytime anybody is doing it on a sharpening stone, the edge of the stone invariably hits your ricasso and it damages your stone, and you also never really get this point sharpened perfectly. So I've put in a little choil over here so that you can, especially for beginners, it's quite easy to sharpen. You're not knocking against the stone every time, and not that this blade will need resharpening. 440C is a very, very durable steel, and also with the cryo treatment, the edge lasts for a very long time. In terms of the aesthetics, I really wanted like a flow to the entire knife. I wanted like not really look aggressive, but look like everything flows right from the point to the butt. Everything flows smoothly, so you have these facets on the handle that are rounded from the top, and then facets on the side also. So something is like, you don't get bored of the knife too quickly, because in every different light the handle sort of looks slightly different. You notice a few interesting things, and with this batch especially, I wanted to keep as much of the raw steel finish possible on the knife itself. So all of this is just how it came out from the laser machine. So all of this is there, and then the scales are perfectly matched to fit, and then there's no glue or anything. So yeah, this definitely takes more time figuring out how to keep it as raw as I can, especially with the flats of the blade. Make sure I'd make no mistakes during grinding it, but then yeah, it makes for something that I think is worthy of people owning, and me making them and offering them. So with that, I offer Kydex sheets. Kydex sheets are a little bit extra for the Kydex sheet kit, and these sheets have evolved over over every batch basically. Earlier I used to make a leather strap that you can strap onto your thing, but right now I've gotten this clip that's riveted onto the sheath, and then this basically lets you carry it tip down, and each kydex sheath is molded to the particular knife. And I'm slowly starting to offer kydex also in multiple colors. Most earlier I used to just offer it in black, but now I started sourcing some green, red and brown kydex. So this is just an example of the thing. And even the kydex also, earlier my earlier sheets used to be quite big, but now I've also gotten the form factor to be nice and compact with a nice swell over here to sort of push the blade out and release it from the sheath, and then it snaps back in right there. And this belt clip is basically a standard belt clip which works for a very standard belt, I would say. And then I do have these eyelet rivets in case you want to strap it onto something else, you want to put a loop and hang it around your neck, you can also do that. The knife also comes with about 1.5 meters of lanyard. This unravels and gives you a good length of lanyard in case for any emergency purposes. So I've did this knot so that it's like stored in a much more compact way on the knife itself. It doesn't come in the way. And the Askari has got a lanyard loop because it's got a smaller handle, so you can wrap that loop around your hand and you use it for chopping. But this knife, because it's got a very comfortable handle, I didn't really think a lanyard loop was necessary, but what I thought was that we could give a good length of lanyard so that in case you need it for emergency or for anything else, you can use it. So this is paracord basically, and yeah, that's stored on the knife itself. Now I'm partnering with another leather crafter called Art Unleashed on Instagram, and she's been building the leather sheets for me. So this is some really good quality so you can order these sheets separately from her. She does all the leather work for this, and it's got a loop to lock it in place. And we've got the same belt clip that the kydex sheets have. And yeah, the leather sheets are like in a class of their own. But yeah, the leather will need a little bit more maintenance. The kydex is basically maintenance free. It's a plastic sheath.